Okay, hi everyone, welcome back to our class. Again, this is Teacher Kina, and for today we'll continue our discussion about percentage. Okay, in this lesson, we're going to learn percentage of whole numbers, and in this lesson, we will learn how to express the percentage of a whole number. Like, for example, 20% of 70. How much is 20% of 70? How much is 60% of 100? How much is 2% of 90? So that's what we're going to learn in this lesson. And also we will learn how to calculate discounts. Like when you went to the mall and you see a lot of sale, a lot of discounts, but you do not know how much how much is the exact discount, the exact amount, because you didn't know how to calculate. That is why it's also important that you know how to calculate discounts. So when you went to the mall, you know how much or how big is the amount to be deducted on the price. Okay. So the keywords that we're going to use in this lesson, first here is the usual price. The usual price is the regular or the original price of the product. Like for example, a cake, you want to buy a cake and it costs 100 baht. And that is the usual price of that cake. All right. So the discount, this is the deduction from the selling price. Like for example, there is a 50% discount in that bakery, and that 100 baht cake has been on sale 50%. So that means you will only have to pay 50% of the exact of the usual price. So that's the discount, the amount to be deducted from the usual price. Okay, now the discounted price, that is the selling price after deduction of discount. So that is your new price. Like for example here, like what I'm saying, a piece of cake cost 100 baht and it was on sale 50%. 50 is half, so that means um, half of the price is to be deducted. So the discounted price that you have to pay is only half. That is 50 baht. So the usual price is 100 baht. The discount is 50%. So the discounted price, the new price that you're gonna pay is 50 baht only. All right. So these are the words that we're going to use in this lesson. Okay, but before we proceed to that, let's take a look on this diagram you see here. There are four colors, right? The purple, the blue, the red, and the white. Okay, so we're going to find the percentage of each of these colors in this diagram. Okay, in this diagram, you see this is divided into how many parts? How many squares? This square is divided into 100. Okay, why do we always discuss about 100? Because we are in the topic percentage, and again, percent means in every 100. That is why we will be dealing more of 100 in this lesson. Okay, so let's start with the red. What is the percentage of the red squares in this diagram? Okay, first to do that, we have to count how many parts is red. So let's start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 times 1, 2, 3, 4, because there are 4 rows here. So 7 times 4 is 28. Okay, 7 times 4 is 28. If you're not sure with your answer, you can count that one by one. Okay, so since that's 28, sorry with my 2, can I erase it again? Okay, since that is 28, 28 squares are red. Out of how many again, all of this? Out of 100. Okay, now we got there. 28 squares are red out of 100. But we are looking for the percentage and not for fraction. This is a fraction, so this is not yet the answer. So we have to use to convert this into a percentage. 28. Okay, again, this percent means of every 100. So 28 red boxes are red. I mean, red squares are red out of every 100. So that's the percent. But if you're not sure, you can use fraction and then convert it into a percentage. 28, if the denominator is 100, you can just copy the numerator and add the percent. Okay, it's just the same. So let's try with a purple. Let's proceed to purple. How many purple squares are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times 1, 2, 3. 4 times 3 is 12. Yeah? So if you're not sure, you can count the boxes one by one, the squares one by one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, you're sure that it's 12. You write down there 12, and the denominator is 100. Why is it 100? Because there are 100 parts of this altogether. Okay, 100 squares. So if the denominator is 100, you can just copy the numerator 12 and then divide it into, not divide, just add the percent. But actually, you can just count how many squares are, like, let's say in blue, how many squares are blue? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 3 is 18. So that's 18 blue boxes of every 100. Remember, percent means of every 100. So 18 are blue of every 100. Of this 100. Okay, so let's proceed to white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7 times 6 is 30. Oh, 40. 42. Okay, the denominator is 100. But again, you don't have to go to fraction to get the percentage. If you have the diagram, you can just go directly to 42%. That means 42 of these squares are white. 42 out of 100, out of the percent. Okay, so that's it. If you have the diagram, you can get directly the percentage without without looking for the fraction. But if you're not sure with that, you can get the fraction and then get the percentage. All right. So here we got 3 superheroes: the percentage, the decimal, and the fraction. So you see here 50%, 0.5 decimal, and the 1/2 fraction, they are equivalent. That means they are equal. Okay, so now in here we will learn more. Why are these fractions, decimal, and percentage equal? So let's see here. So here's the diagram. Okay, this is again in 100 parts. Okay, so you see here the black parts is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. That means black parts are 50 and the white squares are 50 also. So that means half, right? But let's take a look at the percentage, the fraction, and the decimal of this diagram. Okay, let's start with the percentage. Okay, again, what is the percentage of the black squares in this diagram? So as we counted, there are 50, right? So 50 black boxes are there out of 100. Again, the meaning of percent is out of 100, of every 100. Okay, that's the meaning of percent. So there's 50 out of 100. Okay, how about for decimal? Let's count. There are 50, right? Okay, so to make this into a decimal, you have to divide this into 100. Okay, you see there's the fraction 50 over 100. Okay, actually that's the same with here. But you cannot get the decimal without going through the fraction. Unlike the percentage, you can get the percentage without going through the fraction. But in here, let's try passing the fraction so you will easily connect how we came up with the decimal. Okay, how come they are equal? So let's see here. We have 50 black squares out of 100. So that's the numerator and the denominator. But again, we are looking for the decimal. Now, when you divide 50 of 100, okay, let's take a look at this here. So you'll have idea of what was going on. 50 over 100. Okay, 50 divided by 100 cannot because 50 is smaller than 100. So we'll write down there 0. After 0, you add decimal point. So we can add one more 0. So now we got 500 divided by 100. Now the answer is 5. 5 times 100 is 500. Now 500 minus 500 is 0. So our answer is 0 0.5. All right, that's the decimal. But actually, there is a way where you don't need to do this manual division. Okay, when you divide a number into 100, you can just count or move your decimal point to the left. Okay, divide decimal point to the left 2 times. Okay, so in this case, there is no decimal point, right? But remember, after the whole number, there is always a decimal point there, but it's hidden. You cannot see. Okay, so that decimal point will only come out if there is a decimal number. Okay, but if there is no decimal number, then the decimal point will not come out. It will just hide in there after the whole number. So after the whole number, there is an imaginary decimal point there. You move that to the left 2 times. So 1, 2. So that's the decimal point now. Then you cannot start with decimal every time. I mean point. You have to write 0 and then the decimal point and your number, decimal number. Now that's it. But you see there is 0 here, right? As I've said, if your 0 is on the right side, last right side in decimal, decimal only, not fraction and percentage. Okay, only for decimal, you can just take it out. Okay, you can just remove it. That's for decimal only. Okay, so that's 0.5 is actually 50 over 100 and not 5 over 100 because 5 over 100 is 0.05. Okay, look, 5 move 2 places, 1, 2. So you have to write down there one more 0 before the decimal point. So it's 0.05 for 5 over 100 and 0.5 for 50 over 100. Right now, so for fraction, there are 50 black squares out of 100, but that is not yet the answer because we have to find the lowest term. So we have to divide this into 50, 50, and also 100 divided by 50. Now we get 50 divided by 50 is 1, and 100 divided by 50 is 2. Now we got 1/2. So see, that means that is why we see here 50%, which is what we got here, is equal to 0.5, which is what we got here in decimal, and is also equal to 1/2. Okay, so you see they look different, 50%, 1/2, and 0.5, but if they are drawn into a diagram, they all look the same. That's why we can conclude that they are all equivalent. Okay, they are all in equal values. Okay, so in here, let's try to complete this table. Okay, let's start with the fraction and then let's proceed to the decimal and the percent. Okay, out of 100, so the denominator is automatically 100. Okay, so let's count the squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10. Okay, we don't actually have to count that every time. That's always 10. But I'm just counting just for everyone to follow why I got that number. All right, so now let's count 10 times 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66. Now we got there 66. Okay, now let's proceed to the last one. That's 10 again. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 40, 1, 2, 3, 43. All right, now that we're done with fraction, are we done? Not yet. Okay, we still have to round this to the lowest term, but we can do that later after we complete this table. Why? Because by just looking at this, we can easily get the decimal and the percentage. Okay, so since, again, as I've said, if the denominator is 100, we can just copy the numerator, for percent, copy the numerator and write percentage. Okay, same with 43, 43%. Okay, we just copied it because the denominator is 100 and 100 is equal to percent also. So that means that's why we copy only the numerator. 66 out of 100, 66 of every 100 in percent. Okay, how about for decimal? For decimal, we learned this one in our previous lesson, how to convert fraction to decimal. And 66 over 100 means there should be 2 decimal places after the decimal point because of the 100. Or you simply move 2 places from the right, okay, going to the left, like 1, 2. So your decimal point is before 6 and then 66. Just write there 0. So that's your decimal number. How about for the third one? That is 43. You count. That's divided by 100. So you move 2 places, 1, 2, and then the decimal point. So that is 0.43. So that's how to complete a table. Okay, you can use your fraction, or which one do you prefer to use, because others can convert easily from decimal to percent, others fraction to percent, others decimal to fraction. Okay, it's up to you. Either way you use, you'll still get the same answer. Okay, as long as you complete this table. Okay, by the way, that is not yet the final answer, because for fraction, because you still have to round this up to the lowest term. Okay, so 66 divided by 2 is 33, and then 100 divided by 2 is, okay, I'll just write it here, 33 over 50. Okay, and then that is the lowest term because there's no more factor we can divide to 33 that is also divisible to 50. So that is the lowest term. How about for 43? Is there a factor? There's no more factor, so that is in lowest term already. Okay, so let's proceed to the next. Okay, we have here 2. Okay, let's let's start with the fraction. 2 purple boxes out of how many altogether? 100. Is that the final answer? Not yet. We can still round it to the lowest term. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 100 divided by 2 is 50. So our final fraction is 1 over 50. How about for percentage? Okay, so that is for fraction, and now percentage. Two boxes are purple. Again, what is percent? Out of 100. So 2 out of 100, and that's the percentage of the purple box. How about the percentage of the white? The percentage of the white is the opposite, of course. There's 98. 98 white boxes are there out of 100. Okay, so that is the white, and this is for the purple. That's the percentage. Okay, so if you sum this all, you'll get 100%. All right. Now, how about for decimal? Okay, for decimal, you see there is 2 boxes out of 100. Now, to convert that into decimal, you count 2 spaces to the left, right? Because left, right. You count 2 decimal. You move the decimal point 2 places to the left. Okay, to divide. Actually, when you divide it like this, you'll get the same answer, but this will take your time. So I don't really recommend to use this division method, but I'm teaching you to just move 2 decimal places to the left. Okay, so since there's nothing here, so you add 0. So it's 0. Okay, 0.02. That is 2 out of 100. Okay, so that's it. The decimal is 0.02, percentage is 2%, and the fraction is 1 over 50. So that's it. Easy, right? Okay, so somewhere here, let's try to complete this. Okay, as you can see, we have here one row, one row, I mean. These are all complete. The fraction, the decimal, and the percentage are given. So that's 1/2. That means 1/2 is equal to 0.5, and it's also equal to 50%. Okay, remember, if you want to convert 50% to decimal, that means you have to divide this into 100. So to divide this into 100, you move back to the left, to the right. Okay, remember this, for division, move your decimal places to the left. But for multiplication, you move your decimal point to the right. Okay? So to get this 50% from decimal, you move the decimal point to the right. 1, 2. Okay, so if the decimal point is already on the right side, that decimal point can just hide. Okay, so that's why we get there 50%. Okay, we multiply that to 100. If you multiply that to 100 manually, when we say manually, that means you divide it manually like this, you'll get the same answer. Okay, 100 divided by 0.5. So that is 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 1 is 5. Okay, and then there is 1 digit before the decimal point, so there should be 1 digit before the decimal point. You see? That's the same, 50%. If you do this, that will take more of your time. So I don't recommend really to do this, but just count the decimal points. Remember, when you divide, move your decimal points to the left. And when you multiply, move your decimal points to the right. All right. So I have another trick here. In answering a table like this, find fractions last. Okay, you start with the decimals and the percentages, and then do the fractions last, because fraction is a little bit tricky because of their lowest term. Okay, so let's see how are we going to complete this. Let's start with the percentage. So to start with the percentage, let's divide. Again, to divide, move your decimal point to the left. So from here, move to the left. So that is 0.30. So that's the decimal. This is to get the decimal, right? 0.30. Okay, again, for decimals, if the number, the 0 is on the last right side, you can just take that out. Okay, that is automatically 30. Because 3 is 0.3. Okay, 3 over 100 is 0.3. But 30 over 100 is 0.3. Okay. Or 0.30. So let's erase the 0 here. Now let's proceed to the other tables. Let's start with the percentage. Now let's proceed here with 60%. Move 2 places, 1, 2, and then that's the decimal point. So it's 0.60. You can just take out the 0. The same with 75. So 75 divided by 100, that is 0.75. Okay, now we're done with the percentages. I mean, not done with the percentages, but we were able to convert, to find to complete this table using the percentages. Now let's proceed to the given decimals. The given decimals here is, we still have here, okay, let's do that later. Okay, the decimal 0.2, we multiply that to 100, okay, to find the percentage. So let's move this 2 places to the left, to the right, 1, 2. So there should be 0 there. So it's 20%. Okay, how about this? Move 2 places to the right. So 1, 2. There should be 10 there. So it's 70%. And for 9, move 2 places to the right. So it's 90%. Okay. With this in mind, for percentages, you cannot remove zeros. 20 is 20%. You cannot remove the 0 here. If you remove the 0, that will be 2%. Okay, you cannot remove 0 in percentage. You can remove 0 in decimals only. Okay, but in percentage, you cannot touch the zeros there. Now we're done with the given decimals. Now let's try to fill in this blanks in fractions using the decimal and the percentage. Okay, since we have here 20%, that means there's 20 out of 100. Yeah? And how about this? You have here 30%, then we got, that means 30 out of 100. How about here? 60%, 60 out of 100. And here, 70%, 70 out of 100. How about here, 75? So that's 75 out of 100. And for 90, 90 out of 100. All right, so we completed the fractions part. How about the decimals and the percentages? Now, let's start with the fraction, 1/10. So I'm going to erase this so I'll have more spaces. Okay, so let's start with this one. That's 1/10. Now to make this, to find the percentage, it's always easy to find the fraction and the percentage first. I mean, if there is a given percentage, it's much easier to get the fraction and the decimal. So let's see. For fraction, it's easier to get the percentage first, and then if you get the percentage, then it will be easier to get the decimals. Okay, so let's start with fraction, convert it to percentage. So to get the percentage, you have to multiply this to 10 to get the denominator 100. Okay, so whatever you multiply below, you also multiply that to the numerator. So 1 times 10 is 10. So 10 over 100. So that means 10%. All right. Now that we got the 10%, it's easier to get the decimal. Starting from the decimal point, move 2 places to the left, 1, 2. So it's 0.10. But as I've said, for decimals, you can remove the zeros after if it's on the right side, last right side. Okay, now we're complete with the first one. The second one is also complete. Now let's proceed with this 1/4. Okay, for 1/4, we have to multiply the denominator to what? To get 100. Multiply this to 25. So 44 times 25 is 100. So we also multiply the numerator with 25. So 1 times 25 is 25. So that's what we got. That's what the percentage is. 25%. Okay. Actually, this one you can directly convert this to decimal, right? That's 0.25 right away. But you can also look at the percentage and move this here and see 0.25. Okay. if you have the percentage and if you have the percent and the fraction, you can easily find out the decimal. Okay, so next is 2/5. Okay, so 2 divided by 2 over 5. What are you going to multiply 5 to make it to 100? 5 times 20 equals 100. Okay, same with 2. 2 times 20 is 40. So the percent here is 40%, and the decimal is 0.40. All right, so we're almost done. 8 over 10. Okay, let's multiply this to 10 so we can get 100 as the denominator. So 8 times 10 is 80. So that is 80%. So that is 0.80. You can just remove the 0, so it's 0.8. Okay, how about for 1 over 1? As I've said before in our previous lesson, you can just, if the numerator and denominator are the same, that is 100%. And for decimal, 100% is 1. Okay, so that's it. Any number, 2 over 2, 3 over 3, 5 over 5, 20 over 20, that is always 1 and 100%. All right, so that's how to compute and complete a table. Now let's try to find the percentage of a whole number. Let's say 20% of 55. How are you going to find 20% of 55? You just get the two numbers, 20 and 55, and then multiply them both. So 20 times 55, and then denominator is 100. Okay, after you multiply them, divide them to 100. So 20 times 55 okay, so you just remove the 0 and put that down on the answer. 5 times 2 is 10. Write down 0, carry 1. 5 times 2 is 10 again, plus 1, 11. Okay, so that is 1,100, and then copy the denominator 100. Now, as I've said, that means divide, right? 1,100 divided by 11. To do that, to get the answer, you just count 2 places to the right. 1, 2. And then there's a decimal point. So we get there 11. Why is that only 11? Because after the decimal points, you can just remove the zeros. Okay? Remember, when you divide, move 2 places to the left for division. Okay, to divide. Now let's try another one. Okay, actually there is another way of doing this, and that is to get the denominator here 100. Okay, so that's 20%. Denominator is 100. So same way, 20 times 55 equals 1,100. And then divided by 100. So same thing, you get the same answer. So this way that I'm showing you is the easier way. So just get the number 12% times. Just change the of to times 60. So there. And then since that is percent, that means percent means of 100, right? Percent means of 100. That's why we write there over 100. Now 60 times 100, if you multiply them manually, that will be 12 times 60. Okay, remove the 0, copy down. 6 times 2 is 12. Write 2, carry 1. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So that's 720. Copy the denominator 100. Okay, 720 divide, oh, that's not denominator. That's divide. 720 divided by 100. Again, to divide, you just count two places to the left. 1, 2. Okay, so that is 7.20. Okay, just remove the 0. Okay, so it's supposed to be the answer is 7.20, but just remove the 0, so it would be 7.2. 7.2 is equal to 7.20. They're the same. Okay, the last example. 5 times 25 is 125, and then divided by 100. Move two places, so that is 1.25. All right, have you seen something like this in the malls? This is the sale. All right, yeah, but we keep on seeing like this, 30% off, 50% off, 20% off, but do you know how much is the discounted price on that? Okay, so in here we're going to discuss further. Let's calculate the discount. Okay, so here is a special promo in a zoo. They have a promo for children and for senior citizens. Senior citizens are the people 60 years old above. Okay, so we have here the usual price. That means the regular price. When you went to the zoo, they have to pay. If they went to the zoo, they have to pay 50 baht. But the discount is for children 70% discount, and for senior citizens 60% discount. So the question is, how much is this? 70% and 60% in baht. How much is this? They don't know how much is the amount to be deducted from 50 baht. So that's what we're going to do here. We'll try to find out how much is the discount in baht and how much is the new price that they'll have to pay. So let's start with children. The question here is to find out the discount amount in baht. We have to know what is 70% of 50, right? What is 70% of 50? Okay, so like what we did a while ago, 70. Oops. Okay. It's so hard to write in this platform. Okay, so that's 70 of 50. Okay, so 70 of 50 is, let's try to see here, divided by 100. So 70 times 50, that is, get the two zeros, write that down here, and then 7 times 5 is 35. Now divide it by 100. So divide this to 100, you just count two zeros to the left instead of dividing it manually. So you'll save time. So that is 35 baht. Okay, you can just remove the zeros there. So that means 35 baht is the discount. That is the 70% of 50. Okay. That's the 70% of 50. Now, how much is the new price or the discounted price if the discount is 35 baht? That means you will deduct, right? We will deduct the 35 from 50. So let's see. The new price is, okay, the new price is 50, which is the usual price, minus the discount baht, 35. So the children will only pay 15 baht. Okay. They will only pay 15 baht. Right? Now let's proceed with the senior citizen. So for senior citizen, let's find out the 60% of 50. So to do that, 60 times 50 divided by 100. So 60 times 50 is, remove the two zeros, copy that on the answer. Now 6 times 5 is 30 divided by 100. So 3,000 divided by 100, you just move the decimal point to the right 2 times. Okay, so that is 30 baht. Okay, so that means 60% of 50 is 30 baht. Now, if the discount is 30 baht, how much is the new price? 50 minus 30 is 20. So the senior citizens will have to pay 20 baht and the children will pay 15 baht instead of 50 baht. All right, so that's how to compute a discount. All right, so that's all for now. Thank you for listening and see you again on our next lessons. Goodbye.